In 1970, the six-figure dream was the finish line. It meant a house, 2 cars, 3 kids, and a retirement plan that actually existed. It was the gold standard of the American middle class. But today, $100,000 isn't a wealth milestone. It's a survival bracket. If you're earning 6 figures and you still feel like you're drowning, it's not because you're bad with money. It's because the middle class has been redesigned into a high-performance cage. Welcome to the era of the functionally broke. This is the 99%. People who look rich on LinkedIn, but are one unexpected expense away from total collapse. They have the title, they have the salary, but they have zero freedom. In this video, we aren't talking about saving on lattes or budgeting better. We're exposing the invisible architecture of the new economy. The 3 specific mathematical leaks that are draining your account before you even see the direct deposit. If you want to understand why the harder you work, the further behind you feel, you need to see the math they didn't teach you in school. This is the $100,000 trap. Let's look at the new math. You earn $8,333 a month. On paper, you're winning. But the first hand in your pocket is the government. Between federal, state, and Social Security, your $8,333 is instantly $5,900. You've lost 30% of your life's energy before you've even paid for a roof over your head. Then comes the housing hegemony. Today, the average middle-class home in a Tier 1 city costs $3,500 a month. Add in utilities, insurance, and the 2.8% invisible inflation tax on groceries, and suddenly your 6-figure lifestyle has $1,500 left for everything else. This is where the trap closes. We live in a subscription economy. You don't own your car, you lease it. You don't own your software, you rent it. You don't even own your health, you subscribe to it. In the 90s, you bought things once. Today, you pay for the right to exist every single month. This is why 99% of the middle class is broke. They aren't spending money on stuff. They are paying access fees to a life they don't actually own. And the scariest part? The faster you run, the higher the fees go. If the math is so clearly rigged, why do we keep playing? The answer isn't in your bank account. It's in your biology. Hedonic adaptation. It's a survival mechanism designed to keep you moving. When you finally get that $10,000 raise, your brain gives you a hit of dopamine, a new normal high. But within 3 months, that high evaporates. The luxury apartment becomes just the place you live. The premium car becomes just how you get to work. Today, this biological glitch has been weaponized. We are living through the aesthetification of everything. Social media used to be about connection. Now it's a 24/7 psychological auction. You aren't just comparing yourself to your neighbor anymore. You are comparing your behind the scenes to the highlight reels of the top 0.1%. Your $100,000 salary feels like poverty because your digital environment is curated to make excess look like the baseline. This creates what psychologists call money worship and money status scripts. Subconsciously, you begin to believe that your self-worth is literally tied to your net worth. When you see a peer on LinkedIn posting about their Series A funding or an Instagram friend at a 5-star resort in the Maldives, your brain triggers a status threat. To resolve that threat, you spend. You upgrade the wardrobe, you book the flight. You buy the status to prove you still belong in the room. Here's the terrifying part. Data from early 2026 shows that 64% of the variance in our spending is now driven by social norms, not necessity. We are spending money we haven't earned, to buy things we don't need, to impress people who are also functionally broke. It's a collective hallucination. We think we're running toward freedom, but we're actually just increasing the speed of the treadmill. You might think the solution is just more. If $100,000 is the new broke, then $200,000 must be the exit, right? Wrong. Because there is a second, even more dangerous trap waiting for you at the next level. A trap that turns high earners into high-end slaves. And it starts with a concept called asset velocity. If you want to know why the 99% feel broke, you have to look at what happened to ownership. Our parents lived in an era of assets. You bought a car, you owned the metal. You bought a movie, you owned the disc. But today, we have transitioned into a tenant economy. Think about your morning. You wake up in a house you're renting from a bank. You drive to work in a car you're leasing from a manufacturer. You listen to music on a platform you don't own. Even the software you use to earn your paycheck is SaaS, software as a service. You are no longer a homeowner or a car owner. You are a user. And users have to pay for access every single month forever. This is the subscription tax. In today's world, the average high earner has between 12 and 20 recurring monthly payments they can't live without. Individually, they're $15 or $50. Collectively, they are a massive, invisible drain on your asset velocity. While you are sleeping, the system is billing you. While you are on vacation, the system is billing you. You have created a life where your burn rate is so high that you cannot afford to stop working. This is the definition of a high-end slave. This is why more money doesn't fix the problem. When the 99% get a raise, they don't buy assets, they buy better subscriptions. They trade the $400 Toyota lease for an $800 BMW lease. They trade the $2,000 apartment for a $4,000 mortgage. They aren't building wealth, they are just upgrading the quality of their cage. But there is a 1% that has figured out how to sit on the other side of the screen. They don't pay the subscriptions, they collect them. To join them, you don't need a bigger paycheck. You need a different velocity. If you want to escape the 99% trap, you have to stop playing the game of income. You need to start playing the game of equity. Today, the 1% aren't the ones with the biggest paychecks. They're the ones with the lowest personal burn rate and the highest asset velocity. They don't buy things that cost them money every month. They buy things that pay them every month. Step 1 is radical de-aesthetification. You have to kill the version of yourself that needs to look successful. The 99% spend their first $100,000 on status symbols to prove they've made it. The 1% spend their first $100,000 on buying back their time. They drive the 2018 Toyota, they live in the boring neighborhood, and they cut the invisible subscriptions that don't produce a return. Step 2 is asset velocity. This isn't just investing. It's about how fast your money can go from earned to working. Every dollar you spend on a subscription is a dollar that is dead to you. Every dollar you put into a cash-flowing asset, whether that's a small rental property, a high-yield index, or even a digital business, is a financial soldier working for you while you sleep. The goal isn't to reach $1 million. The goal is for your assets to cover your fixed costs. That is the only definition of wealth in today's world. Imagine the feeling. You wake up on a Tuesday. Your mortgage is paid, your health insurance is covered, your basic needs are handled by a system you built, not a boss you serve. You haven't retired, you've just become unfuckwithable. You can say no to the toxic promotion. You can say no to the high-stress city. You have escaped the 99% trap because you stopped trading your life for a lifestyle you didn't even want. The path out of the middle class isn't more work, it's more intent. It's realizing that in a world designed to keep you spending, the most rebellious thing you can do is be satisfied with what you have, while you build what you want. Most people will finish this video, close the tab, and go back to the treadmill. They'll tell themselves they'll start next month. But as we've seen, the system is designed to make next month more expensive than today. The gap between the 99% and the 1% isn't just money. It's the moment you decide that good enough is no longer acceptable. You now have the math, you have the psychology. The only thing left is the choice. Are you going to keep paying for access to a life you don't own? Or are you going to start owning the life you pay for? Escaping the trap requires a strategy, but executing that strategy requires a specific type of mind. Most geniuses are actually the easiest to trap because they overthink the math and ignore the psychology. If you want to see why the smartest people you know are often the poorest, and how the underdogs are actually winning the game, and to be part of them, you need to see this video next.